They told you that virtue is its own reward. They told you that if you keep your head down, follow the rules, tell the truth, and treat others with kindness, the universe would eventually balance the scales and reward you with success. They lied. The universe does not balance scales, it only weighs survival. And in the modern economic jungle, the currency of survival is not kindness, it is leverage. Look around you. Look at the people who sit at the apex of the financial food chain. Look at the titans of industry, the conquerors of Wall Street, the emperors of Silicon Valley. How many of them got there by turning the other cheek? How many of them built their empires by prioritizing the feelings of others over their own expansion? History is not written by the saints, it is written by the victors, and victory, more often than not, requires a suspension of the very morality you hold dear. Welcome to the Forbidden Masterclass. I am not here to comfort you. I am not here to tell you that the world is fair. I am here to peel back the skin of society and show you the raw, bleeding muscle underneath. We are going to explore a terrifying hypothesis that your goodness, your empathy, and your moral code are the very chains keeping you poor. This is the philosophy they didn't teach you in school. This is the dark truth of human incentives. If you are ready to challenge the foundation of your own morality, hit the like button right now. Do it to signal to the algorithm, and to yourself, that you are not afraid of the dark. Let us begin by addressing the elephant in the room. Why does it feel like the bad guys always win? You see it in your office. The coworker who steals credit for your work gets the promotion. The manager who cuts corners gets the bonus. The CEO who lays off thousands to boost the stock price gets the golden parachute. Meanwhile, you, the conscientious worker, the one who stays late to fix the mistakes, the one who cares about the team, you stay stagnant. This is not an accident. It is a mathematical certainty embedded in the game theory of capitalism. To understand this, we must look at the nature of goodness. What does it mean to be a good person? In the traditional sense, it means you are altruistic. You prioritize the group over the individual. You adhere to a strict code of honesty, even when it hurts you. You possess empathy, the ability to feel the pain of others. Now pause. Ask yourself, what is the financial cost of that empathy? If you are a landlord and your tenant loses their job, empathy tells you to let them stay for free. Financial reality tells you that you are losing money every single day they remain. If you are a lawyer and you know your client is guilty, morality tells you to seek justice. Your career incentive tells you to win the case at all costs. If you are a CEO and you can double your profits by outsourcing labor to a sweatshop, morality screams no. The stock market screams yes. In every single one of these interactions, good choice imposes a tax. We call this the saint's tax. It is the literal financial cost of having a conscience. The person without a conscience, the psychopath, the Machiavellian strategist, does not pay this tax. They keep that capital, they reinvest it. And over 10, 20, 30 years, that compounded interest of ruthlessness creates a chasm between the ethical and the effective. You might be thinking, but I don't want to be a psychopath. And that is your choice. But you must understand that you are entering a boxing match with one hand tied behind your back, fighting against an opponent who has horseshoes in their gloves. If you want to survive, you don't have to become evil. But you must understand evil. You must understand the strategy of the predator, or you will forever remain the prey. Part 1. The biology of disadvantage. To understand why goodness is a financial liability, we have to go back, way back. Before stock markets, before money, before language, we have to look at the wiring of the human animal. We evolved in small tribes of maybe 150 people. In that environment, altruism was a survival strategy. If I shared my meat with you today, you would share yours with me tomorrow. If I protected your children, you protected mine. In a closed system where reputation is everything, being good was profitable. If you were a liar or a thief in a tribe of 50 people, you were exiled, and exile meant death. But we do not live in a tribe of 150 people anymore. We live in a globalized, anonymous, digital economy of billions. In this environment, the biological feedback loop of altruism is broken. Imagine you are walking down a busy street in New York City or London. You see a man drop a $100 bill. In a tribe, you return it because he knows you, and that social credit is worth more than the paper. In the city, you can pick up that bill, walk away, and never see that man again. The anonymity of the modern economy incentivizes the defector. This brings us to a concept in game theory known as the prisoner's dilemma. Two people are arrested. If they both stay silent, they cooperate with each other. They get a light sentence. If one betrays, the other defects while the other stays silent, the betrayer goes free, and the silent one gets a maximum sentence. If both betray, they both get a medium sentence. The good person is the one who stays silent. They trust, they cooperate. But the rational strategy, the one that minimizes risk and maximizes personal gain, is to betray. In a single interaction, the predator always eats the altruist. The altruist only wins if the game is repeated over and over again with the same people. But modern business is often a series of single interactions. You sell a used car to a stranger. You negotiate a salary with a boss you might leave in 2 years. You compete for a contract against a rival firm. In these scenarios, the person willing to defect, to lie about the car's condition, to bluff about a competing job offer, to undercut the rival, wins the resources. The person who insists on radical transparency, they lose. Let's look at the psychological trait known as agreeableness. In the Big Five personality model, agreeableness is the tendency to be compassionate, cooperative, and polite. It sounds like a virtue. It sounds like what your mother taught you to be. Here is the cold, hard data: agreeable people earn significantly less money than disagreeable people. A study analyzing income data found that highly disagreeable men earn roughly 18% more than their agreeable counterparts. Why? Because agreeable people do not negotiate aggressively. They value social harmony over their own bank accounts. They don't want to rock the boat. They say yes to extra work without demanding extra pay. They apologize when they haven't done anything wrong. The disagreeable person, the person who doesn't care if you like them. They demand what they are worth. They are willing to engage in conflict to secure resources. They prioritize their own status over the group's comfort. This is the biological disadvantage. Your brain is wired to seek approval, to fit in, to be liked. That wiring was designed to keep you from being kicked out of the cave. Today, that same wiring keeps you from asking for a raise. It keeps you from firing an incompetent employee. It keeps you from closing the sale because you don't want to seem pushy. Your biology is betraying your bank account. If you are realizing right now that your politeness has been costing you money, drop a brain emoji in the comments. Acknowledge the cost. Part 2: The Machiavellian Edge. We have to talk about Niccolo Machiavelli. He is often painted as a villain, a teacher of evil. But Machiavelli was not a villain, he was a realist. He looked at the world not as it should be, but as it actually is. And his core insight was simple. A ruler who tries to be good in a world of bad men will come to ruin. Translate that to the modern day: an entrepreneur who tries to be a saint in a market of sharks will go bankrupt. Let's dissect the specific mechanisms manipulators use to gain a financial edge, mechanisms derived from the dark triad of personality: narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism. First, let's look at narcissism. We tend to think of narcissists as annoying braggarts. But in the corporate world, narcissism is a superpower. Why? Because of self-delusion. A rational, humble person looks at a risky venture, starting a billion-dollar company, say, and thinks, the odds are against me. I might fail. They hesitate. They are cautious. The narcissist looks at the same venture and thinks, I am destined for this. I cannot fail. This delusional overconfidence allows them to pitch investors with absolute conviction. It allows them to sell a vision that doesn't exist yet. People follow confidence more than they follow competence. The humble genius stays in the cubicle because they doubt themselves. The narcissistic idiot becomes the CEO because they believe their own hype. And here is the dark twist: the market rewards this overconfidence. We throw money at the bold, the loud, the charismatic. We ignore the quiet, competent technician in the corner. If you are good, meaning humble, realistic, and honest about your limitations, you are invisible. Next, psychopathy. Clinical psychopathy is defined by a lack of empathy and a lack of fear. Imagine how much more money you could make if you felt no fear. Fear of rejection, gone. Fear of failure, gone. Fear of hurting someone's feelings, gone. A psychopath can fire 500 people on a Zoom call and then go eat a sandwich with a steady heart rate. A good person would be up all night, racked with guilt, worrying about those families. That guilt is energy. That guilt is mental bandwidth. The psychopath does not waste energy on guilt. They direct 100% of their energy toward the objective. In a negotiation, the person who cares the least wins. The psychopath never cares. They are willing to walk away. They are willing to burn the bridge. They are willing to hold the other person hostage emotionally because they do not feel the tension that you feel. While you are sweating trying to find a win-win solution to be a good person, they are coldly calculating how to extract the maximum value from you. Finally, Machiavellianism. This is the strategic manipulation of others. It is the ability to view people not as human beings with dreams and rights, but as chess pieces on a board. The Machiavellian strategist understands information asymmetry. They know that knowledge is power, so they hoard it. The good person believes in transparency. They share information freely. They tell their boss, "Hey, I figured out a way to do this faster." What happens? The boss says, "Great, here is more work." The Machiavellian figures out a way to do it faster, keeps it a secret, works 2 hours a day, and spends the rest of the time networking with the boss's boss. They use the appearance of competence rather than actual labor to climb the ladder. There is a concept in sociology called moral licensing. It suggests that when people do something good, they feel entitled to do something bad later. But the Machiavellian flips this. They do something performatively good, a public charity donation, a loud declaration of corporate values, to buy themselves cover for the ruthless extraction of profit in the shadows. Think of the companies that have the loudest, who care, marketing campaigns. Often, these are the same companies with the most brutal labor practices. The goodness is a mask. It is a cost of doing business. It is a distraction. If you are a good person, you take people at their word. You assume that if a company says they care, they care. You are easily duped. The financial disadvantage here is gullibility. Your projection of your own morality onto others blinds you to their knives. Part 3. The architecture of exploitation. Let's go deeper. Let's look at how the entire economic system is structured to harvest the energy of the good and funnel it to the ruthless. Consider the concept of loyalty. You are taught that loyalty is a virtue. You should be loyal to your friends, loyal to your spouse, and loyal to your employer. In the financial realm, loyalty is a tax on your income. If you are a loyal employee, you stay at the same company for 5-10 years. You get your standard 3% cost of living raise. You work hard because you believe in the mission. You believe the company is a family. Meanwhile, the mercenary, the person with no loyalty, jumps ship every 2 years. Every time they jump, they negotiate a 20% pay bump. Over a decade, the mercenary is making double what the loyalist is making. The company relies on your goodness. They rely on your guilt. They know you won't leave because you don't want to let your team down. They are monetizing your conscience. This creates a phenomenon I call the competence trap. If you are a good person, you take pride in your work. You do a good job because it is the right thing to do. The system notices this. And how does it reward you? It gives you more work. The incompetent, the lazy, or the strategic manipulators do just enough to not get fired. They weaponize incompetence. They pretend they don't know how to use the spreadsheet, so you have to do it. You, being helpful and good, pick up the slack. You burn out. They float along, conserving energy, playing office politics, securing the promotion, because they had the time to go for drinks with the manager while you were finishing their report. Your virtue is their resource. Let's look at debt and obligation. Good people feel a crushing weight when they owe money. They will starve themselves to pay back a debt. They view a contract as a moral bond. The ruthless view debt as a tool. If a corporation owes a bank $1 million, that's the corporation's problem. If a corporation owes a bank $1 billion, that's the bank's problem. The wealthy use strategic bankruptcy. They default when it makes mathematical sense. They renegotiate terms by threatening to collapse. They separate their personal morality from their corporate entity. You, the individual, feel shame when you cannot pay. They feel leverage. I want you to pause and really let that sink in. How many times have you made a financial decision based on avoiding shame? How many times have you avoided asking for money because you didn't want to be greedy? Greed is a dirty word to the poor. To the rich, it is simply growth. If this is starting to make you angry, good. Anger is useful. Anger is an energy source. Use it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to learn how to weaponize that anger instead of letting it eat you alive. Part 4. The myth of karma. We must dismantle the most dangerous safety blanket of the good person, the just world hypothesis. This is the psychological bias where we believe that the world is inherently fair, that good things happen to good people and bad things happen to bad people. We believe this because it makes us feel safe. It makes the world predictable. If you believe in a just world, you don't negotiate harm because you trust you will be rewarded fairly. You don't protect yourself with ironclad contracts because you trust the other person will do the right thing. You don't study power dynamics because you think power is given to the deserving. This belief is financial suicide. The world is not just. The world is chaotic, indifferent, and governed by power laws. The rain falls on the just and the unjust alike, but the unjust usually have stolen someone else's umbrella. When you operate under the delusion of karma, you become passive. You wait for your reward. You wait to be noticed. You wait for permission. The Machiavellian does not wait, they take. They understand that fairness is not a natural phenomenon, it is a construct that must be enforced by power. If you do not have power, you cannot enforce fairness. Therefore, the first duty of the ethical person is not to be nice, it is to become powerful. Money is not moral, money is immoral. It is like water or electricity. It flows where there is the least resistance and the most gravity. It flows toward value, yes, but it also flows toward aggression, toward novelty, toward dominance. If you refuse to engage with the dark arts of influence, persuasion, seduction, negotiation, framing, because you think they are manipulative, you are voluntarily unplugging yourself from the flow of power. You are bringing a poem to a gunfight. Part 5: The Transgression of the Law. Let's look at the edges of the map, the gray areas, the places where the good person refuses to go and where the wealthy often make their fortunes. There is a saying, behind every great fortune, there is a crime. While not literally true in every case, it points to a deeper reality. Great leaps in wealth often come from arbitrage, from finding a loophole, a gray area, a place where the rules are poorly defined, and exploiting it before the regulators catch up. The good person looks at a rule and follows it. They color inside the lines. The strategic thinker looks at a rule and asks, what is the penalty for breaking this? And is the profit greater than the penalty? If the fine for polluting a river is $1 million, but the profit from the factory is $10 million, the corporation does not see a law. They see a business expense. They see a 10% tax on profit. They will pollute the river, pay the fine, and call it a win. This is the cold calculus of the real world. Now, I am not telling you to break the law. That is a low-level strategy that usually ends in a cage. I am telling you to understand how the people at the top view the rules. They view rules as variables in an equation, not as sacred commandments from God. They hire armies of lawyers not to help them follow the law, but to help them find the shape of the law so they can mold themselves around it. They use tax loopholes that were lobbied for by their peers. They use offshore accounts. They use intellectual property laws to crush competition. The good person thinks tax avoidance is unpatriotic. The wealthy person thinks tax avoidance is a fiduciary duty. Do you see the difference? It is a difference in mindset. One mindset is that of the subject, the servant, the one who obeys. The other mindset is that of the sovereign, the architect, the one who commands. So, where does this leave us? Should you abandon all morality? Should you become a lying, stealing, cheating narcissist? No, because there is a trap in that direction too. If you are purely evil, purely selfish, eventually the tribe wakes up. Eventually your reputation is destroyed. Eventually no one will do business with you. The pure defector strategy only works for a while, until the system identifies you as a virus and attacks. The goal is not to be a villain. The goal is to be a dangerous good person. You need to integrate the shadow. You need to understand every weapon in the manipulator's arsenal, not so you can use them on the innocent, but so you can recognize them when they are used on you. And, when necessary, so you can use them to defend yourself and what you build. You need to be capable of ruthlessness, but choose kindness. Kindness that comes from a place of weakness is not a virtue, it is cowardice. You are nice because you are afraid of what will happen if you aren't. You are harmless. But kindness that comes from a place of strength, kindness from a person who could destroy you, who could outmaneuver you, who could take everything you have but chooses not to, that is true virtue. That is power. To stop being financially disadvantaged by your goodness, you must stop being naive. Stop giving away your labor for free. Empathy is not a business strategy. If you provide value, demand value in return. Stop expecting fairness. Negotiate leverage. Build leverage. Do not rely on the goodwill of others. Rely on their self-interest. Make it in their best interest to pay you well. Learn the dark arts. Study persuasion. Study negotiation. Study power dynamics. Read Machiavelli. Read Robert Greene. Read psychology. Stop hiding your eyes from the way the sausage is made. Prioritize yourself. You cannot help the poor if you are one of them. You cannot change the system if you have no power within it. Acquire resources first. Then, and only then, can you afford the luxury of radical altruism. Look in the mirror. You see a good person. You see someone who tries their best. But ask yourself, is that goodness a shield, or is it a cage? Are you good because you are virtuous, or are you good because you are compliant? The financial world does not care about your intentions. It cares about results. It transfers wealth from the passive to the active, from the knave to the strategic, from the fearful to the bold. If you want to win, you have to kill the part of you that needs everyone to like you. You have to kill the part of you that thinks money is dirty. You have to kill the part of you that is waiting for permission. You must become something new. Not a villain, not a victim, but a player in the game who knows the rules better than the people who wrote them. The world is dark. You can close your eyes and pretend it isn't, and be eaten. Or you can open your eyes, let your pupils dilate, and learn to see in the dark. The choice is yours. But remember, the most dangerous person in the room is not the one who is shouting. It is the one who is listening, watching, and calculating. Be that person. If this masterclass woke something up inside you, a hunger, a realization, a shadow, then you are ready for what comes next. Subscribe, share this with the one friend you know is too smart to be this broke, and tell me in the comments, what is the good person tax you have paid in your life? What did your niceness cost you? Let's compare notes in the dark. If you are still here, it means you have accepted the painful truth of part 1. Your goodness is a tax. Now, we move from theory to practice. We enter the arena where you spend the majority of your waking life, the workplace. They call it a team. They call it a family. They organize trust falls and pizza parties and hang posters about synergy in the break room. This is camouflage. The modern corporation is not a family. It is a feudal court. It is a hierarchy of power where resources are finite and competition is zero-sum. If you walk into this arena thinking your job is simply to do good work, you are bringing a spreadsheet to a knife fight. You are playing checkers while the people above you are playing 4D chess with your livelihood. In this lesson, we will dissect the corporate battlefield. We will expose why competence is often punished, why visibility matters more than ability, and how to stop being the reliable mule that carries the load while the show ponies get the applause. If you are ready to stop being a pawn and start becoming a player, hit the like button. Let the algorithm know you are awake. Part 1: The Curse of Competence. Let's begin with the most dangerous lie in the corporate world. If I just work hard and do a good job, I will be rewarded. This is the meritocracy myth. In a perfect world, the best worker gets the promotion. In the real world, the best worker gets more work. Think about it from your manager's perspective. They have a problem. They need tasks done reliably, quickly, and without complaint. You are the person who solves that problem. You are efficient. You are quiet. You fix the mistakes of others. You are invaluable in your current role. If they promote you, they lose their problem solver. They have to train someone new. They have to deal with the chaos you are silently managing. So, what is the rational, Machiavellian move for your manager? Keep you exactly where you are. Give you a 3% raise to keep you from quitting, maybe a meaningless title change like senior associate, but never, ever let you leave the production line. You have fallen into the competence trap. You are too good at your job to be promoted. Meanwhile, look at the person who does get promoted. Often, they are less technically skilled than you, but they possess something you lack: political capital. They spend less time doing the work and more time marketing the work. They manage perception. They network with the people 2 levels above them. They understand that in a hierarchy, your value is not determined by your output, it is determined by your visibility. The good person thinks this is unfair. They think it is kissing up. They retreat into their work, bitter and confused, waiting for justice that will never come. The strategic person understands that perception is reality. If you do the work but no one sees it, you did not do the work. If you solve a crisis before it happens, you get no credit. If you let the crisis happen, then swoop in to save the day. While everyone is watching, you are a hero. This is the firefighter's paradox. The person who prevents the fire is ignored. The person who puts out the fire is celebrated. The corporate world rewards the loud savior, not the silent guardian. If you want to escape the competence trap, you must stop being the silent guardian. You must learn to market your value. You must learn to strategically let things fail when you are not there, so your absence is felt more than your presence. Part 2: The 48 Laws of the Break Room. You have likely heard of Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power. It is a manual for the Machiavellian strategist. But how does it apply to the Tuesday morning Zoom call? How does it apply to the passive-aggressive email from HR? Let's look at Law 1: Never outshine the master. The good person wants to impress their boss. They want to show how smart they are. They correct the boss's mistakes in the meeting. They propose a better idea than the manager's idea. They think they are being helpful. What they are actually doing is triggering the boss's insecurity. They are signaling, I am smarter than you. I am a threat. In the primal brain of your manager, you have just painted a target on your back. They will not fire you immediately. That would be too obvious. Instead, they will start to sideline you. They will forget to invite you to key meetings. They will assign you the busy work. They will slowly suffocate your career to protect their own ego. The strategic person knows that the boss's ego is the gatekeeper to their own success. They make the boss look brilliant. They give the boss credit for their own ideas. They play the role of the loyal lieutenant. They hide their full intelligence until they have enough leverage to make a move. This feels dishonest to the good person. It feels manipulative. It is manipulative, but it is also survival. Now consider Law 3. Conceal your intentions. The good person is an open book. They tell everyone their plans. I'm hoping to get promoted to director next year. I'm thinking about going back to grad school. I'm really unhappy with this project. This radical transparency gives your enemies, and yes, you have enemies, the ammunition to destroy you. If your rival knows you want that promotion, they can start a whisper campaign to undermine you. If your boss knows you are thinking of leaving, they will stop investing in you immediately. Information is currency. When you give it away for free, you devalue yourself. The Machiavellian keeps their cards close to their vest. They are friendly, they are chatty, but they say absolutely nothing of substance about their true motives. They operate in the fog, because when people don't know what you are up to, they cannot defend against you. Part 3. The weaponization of empathy. In Part 1, we talked about how empathy is a tax. In the corporate world, empathy is also a weapon used against you. Corporations have weaponized the language of empathy to extract more labor from you for less money. They call it company culture. We are a family here. We are mission-driven. We do this for the passion, not the paycheck. Translate this. What are they really saying? We are a family means we expect you to work unpaid overtime because you wouldn't charge your brother for help. We are mission-driven means we will pay you below market rate because your payment is the moral superiority of the work. This is emotional blackmail. They leverage your desire to be a good person to guilt you into compliance. The moment you ask for a raise, the mask slips. Suddenly, the family doesn't have the budget. Suddenly, passion isn't enough. Suddenly, it's just business. The strategic person realizes that the employment contract is a transaction, not a relationship. You sell your time, they buy it. That is it. There is no family. There is no loyalty. There is only the exchange of value. If you treat the company like a family, you will be the child who never grows up. If you treat it like a client, you become the CEO of your own life. This brings us to the HR trap. The good person believes that human resources exist to protect them. They go to HR with their complaints, their struggles, their conflicts. Here is the dark truth: HR exists to protect the company from you. HR is not your therapist. HR is not your friend. HR is the risk management department. When you confess your burnout or your conflict with a manager or your personal struggles, you are not getting help. You are flagging yourself as a liability. You are creating a paper trail that can be used to manage you out. The Machiavellian never complains to HR unless they have a lawyer and a lawsuit ready to go. They solve their problems through leverage and alliances, not through the grievance box. The art of the strategic. No, good person suffers from a disease called pathological agreeableness. They say yes to everything. Can you take on this extra project?
Yes.
Can you stay late tonight?
Yes. Can you train the new guy? Yes.
They think this makes them valuable. In reality, it makes them a commodity. In economics, things that are abundant are cheap. If your yes is abundant, it has no value. The powerful person knows the value of scarcity. They use the word no. When you say no, you signal that your time is valuable. You signal that you have boundaries. You signal that you cannot be bullied. But you don't just say no bluntly. That's rude. You say, no, strategically. I would love to help with that. But given my current priorities on Project X, I wouldn't be able to give it the attention it deserves. Which of my current tasks would you like me to deprioritize to make room for this? Do you see the difference? The good person absorbs the stress. The strategic person reflects the stress back onto the manager. You force them to make the trade-off. You force them to value your time. This is the cost of access. If people can access your labor for free, they will consume it until you are empty. You must erect a toll booth on the highway of your energy, the glass ceiling of virtue. Let's talk about the glass ceiling, not the one based on gender or race, though those are real and formidable, but the one based on virtue. There is a level of success you can reach by being hardworking, honest, and kind. You can become a manager. You can become a vice president. You can make a comfortable six-figure salary. But to break through to the C-suite, to the board of directors, to the realm of the truly wealthy, you often have to cross a moral event horizon. At the highest levels, decisions are no longer about right and wrong. They are about profitable and unprofitable. The CEO who decides to automate a factory knows they are destroying 2,000 livelihoods. They know they are devastating a community. A person with a high level of active empathy cannot make that decision. They would be paralyzed by the suffering they are causing. The person who makes that decision has the ability to compartmentalize. They view the 2,000 workers not as people, but as labor costs on a balance sheet. They rationalize the destruction as efficiency or fiduciary duty to shareholders. This is the psychopathic filter. The corporate ladder filters out people with too much empathy. By the time you reach the top, the air is too thin for the bleeding hearts. Only the cold-blooded can breathe. If you are a good person, you might look at the CEO and think, I could never do that. And you are right. That is why you are not the CEO. This is not a judgment. It is a diagnosis. If you want to retain your soul, you may have to accept a cap on your ambition. Or you have to learn to rent out your ruthlessness. You have to learn to put your empathy in a box during business hours and only let it out when you clock out. This is the price of the crown. So how do you survive this coliseum without becoming a monster? How do you protect yourself? You build a fortress of leverage. Leverage comes in 3 forms. 1. Capital leverage, having enough money in the bank. You money that you can walk away from a bad job at any moment. The person who needs the paycheck is a slave. The person who doesn't need it is a mercenary. Be the mercenary. 2. Network leverage, building alliances outside of your company. Your value is not just what you know, it is who you can call. The good person networks to make friends. The strategic person networks to build a safety net and an attack force. 3. Skill leverage, being the only person who knows how to do the critical thing. Do not document your processes so well that you become replaceable. Keep some of the magic to yourself. Be the black box that the company cannot function without. You must also cultivate the reputation of dangerousness. This sounds counterintuitive. You want to be seen as nice, right? No, you want to be seen as civil. There is a difference. Nice means you are harmless. Civil means you are capable of doing harm, but you have chosen not to, for now. Think of the difference between a golden retriever and a wolf that has been tamed. You play with the retriever because it is goofy. You respect the wolf because you know it has teeth. In the workplace, you must show your teeth occasionally, not by shouting, but by holding boundaries firmly, by negotiating hard, by not backing down when challenged, by holding people accountable. When people know you have teeth, they don't step on your tail. Conclusion: the wolf in the fold. The corporate world is not designed for your happiness. It is designed for your extraction. It is a machine that turns human life into shareholder value. If you walk into that machine naked, armed only with your goodness and your naivety, you will be ground into paste. You must wear armor. You must carry a weapon. You must learn the language of the machine so you can hack it, redirect it, and make it work for you. You can still be a good person. You can still be kind to your family, honest with your friends, charitable to your community. But when you swipe your badge and walk through those glass doors, you are entering enemy territory. Act accordingly. Do not be the saint who gets martyred for the quarterly earnings report. Be the strategist who secures the resources to build a good life for yourself and the people you actually love. In the next part, we will leave the office and enter the bedroom. We will explore the dark economics of love, dating, and relationships. We will look at how the same principles of leverage, scarcity, and value apply to the human heart. If you think the boardroom is brutal, wait until you see the dating market. We have spoken about money. We have spoken about careers. But there is a market more volatile, more brutal, and more essential to your existence than the New York Stock Exchange. It is the sexual marketplace. They told you that love is unconditional. They told you that there is someone for everyone. They told you that if you are kind, supportive, and loyal, you will be rewarded with a partner who cherishes you. Once again, they lied. Love, in its raw biological form, is not a fairy tale. It is a transaction. It is a biological negotiation between two parties attempting to maximize their genetic and social equity. It is governed by supply and demand, scarcity and abundance, leverage and liquidity. If you treat love like a Disney movie, you will be the tragedy. If you treat love like a market, you can finally understand why you keep getting your heart broken by people who don't seem to care as much as you do. In this lesson, we are going to dissect the economics of romance. We will explain why nice is often interpreted as cheap. We will explain why you are addicted to the person who ignores you. And we will explain how to regain the power in your relationships without becoming a monster. If you are ready to see the code behind the matrix of attraction, hit the like button. Let's break some hearts. The principle of least interest. There is a sociological law that governs every single human interaction, from a business deal to a marriage. It is called the principle of least interest. The law states, in any relationship, the person who is least interested in continuing the relationship holds the most power. Read that again. The person who is willing to walk away controls the negotiation. The person who needs the other person more is the hostage. The good person, the romantic, the empath, is almost always the one with the most interest. You text back immediately. You clear your schedule to see them. You forgive their flakes. You are all in. You think this shows devotion. You think this proves your value. But to the primal brain of your partner, this signals low value. It signals desperation. In economics, when the supply of something, your attention, is unlimited, the value drops to zero. The Machiavellian partner, the bad boy, or the ice queen, they practice scarcity. They don't text back immediately. They have other plans. They are willing to walk away if you disrespect them. And because they are scarce, their value skyrockets. You chase them. You crave their validation because it is rare. You work harder to please them. The dynamic is set: one person is the prize and the other person is the fan. The good person is rarely the prize because they give themselves away for free. Let's talk about the currency of niceness. We all say we want a nice partner. But if nice is your only selling point, you are in trouble. In the sexual marketplace, nice is the baseline. It is the minimum requirement for entry. Walking into a date and thinking you deserve love because you are nice is like walking into a job interview and demanding a CEO salary because you promise not to steal the staplers. Niceness, without competence, without status, without edge, is perceived as weakness. Evolutionary psychology teaches us that we are attracted to ability. We want a partner who can survive, who can protect, who can provide, or who has high genetic fitness. When you are overly nice, when you agree with everything your partner says, when you never assert your own needs, when you put them on a pedestal, you are signaling that you do not have options. You are signaling that you are lucky to be there. This triggers a subconscious repulsion in your partner. They might say, "You're too good for me." What they mean is, "I don't respect you because you don't respect yourself." This is the tragedy of the covert contract. The nice guy or nice girl operates on a secret contract. I will do everything for you. I will sacrifice my needs for yours, and in return you must love me. But the other person never signed that contract. So when the love doesn't come, the nice person becomes resentful. They become bitter. The mask falls off, and underneath the niceness is a deep, seething rage. True attraction is not bought with favors. It is negotiated with value. Why do we obsess over the people who treat us poorly? Why do we get bored with the stable, loving partner and crave the chaotic one? This is not just daddy issues. This is variable reward schedules. B.F. Skinner, the behavioral psychologist, discovered that if you give a rat a pellet of food every time it presses a lever, the rat presses it only when it is hungry. But if you give the rat a pellet randomly, sometimes it gets food, sometimes it gets nothing, the rat will press the lever until it dies of exhaustion. Uncertainty creates addiction. The bad partner is a slot machine. Sometimes they are charming, loving, and amazing, jackpot. Sometimes they are cold, distant, and cruel's loss. You never know which version you are going to get. This inconsistency spikes your dopamine. You stay in the relationship not because it feels good, but because you are chasing the high of the good days to offset the pain of the bad days. The good partner is a vending machine. You put in a coin, you get a soda every time. It is reliable, it is safe, and it is boring. The human brain adapts to consistency. We stop noticing things that are always there. If you are always available, always loving, always present, you become background noise. The Machiavellian understands this. They deliberately introduce unpredictability. They withdraw warmth to create anxiety, then reintroduce it to create relief. This cycle of anxiety, relief bonds the victim to the abuser. This is called trauma bonding, and it is far stronger than love. We must address the elephant in the room: hypergamy. In broad evolutionary terms, humans are wired to seek the best possible deal. We want the highest status, best looking, most resource, rich partner we can attract. For women historically, this often meant seeking a partner with status and resources greater than their own, hypergamy. For men, this often meant seeking the highest indicators of fertility and beauty. A good person ignores this. They think, love is blind. They think, if I love them enough, status doesn't matter. But the market is always working. If one partner's market value rises significantly, they get fit, get rich, become famous, and the other partner stays stagnant. the relationship enters the danger zone. The lower value partner senses this shift. They become insecure. They become clingy. This clinginess lowers their value further. See principle of least interest. The higher value partner starts to notice their new options. They start to feel that they settled. The good person believes that loyalty should override these market forces. And in a moral world, it should. But we do not live in a moral world. We live in a biological one. The person who ignores the necessity of maintaining their own market value, who lets themselves go because they are comfortable, is violating the laws of the market. They are relying on a contract that biology does not recognize. The friend zone as bankruptcy. What is the friend zone? Economically, the friend zone is when you provide relationship benefits, emotional support, time, attention, favors without receiving relationship exclusivity or intimacy. You are providing a free service. The good person thinks, if I just keep providing this service for free, eventually they will realize how valuable I am and start paying for it. This is false. Why would they buy the cow when they are getting the milk for free? By staying in the friend zone, you are distorting the market. You are subsidizing their bad behavior. You are giving them the emotional validation of a relationship, which gives them the confidence to go chase the bad boy or bad girl. You are literally funding your own competition. The strategic move when you are friend zoned is the walk away. You remove your attention. You remove your resources. You force them to feel the loss of your presence. If they value you, they will pursue you to get those resources back. If they don't pursue you, they never valued you, and you have saved yourself years of wasted time. The benevolent dictator. So, should you become a toxic manipulator? Should you play mind games and torment your partner to keep them addicted? No. That is the path of the psychopath, and it leads to a graveyard of broken relationships and a hollow soul. The goal is to be a high-value partner. You want to be the benevolent dictator of your own life. Be willing to walk away. You must love yourself more than you love the relationship. If your boundaries are crossed, you must be capable of leaving. This is not a bluff. This is self-respect. Maintain your mission. Your partner cannot be the center of your universe. That is too much pressure on them, and it makes you boring. You must have a purpose, a career, a passion that is bigger than the relationship. A person on a mission is infinitely more attractive than a person waiting by the phone. Practice strategic absence. You do not need to share every thought. You do not need to spend every minute together. Maintain some mystery. Keep your own hobbies. Let them miss you. Missing is a vital ingredient of desire. Invest in your asset, your body, your mind, and your finances are your market value. Never stop improving them. When you know you are a catch, you don't act desperate, you act like a prize. Real love, the kind that lasts, is not found by begging. It is found by bargaining from a position of strength. The good person begs to be loved. The strong person invites someone to join them on their ascent. When you stop needing their validation, you become magnetic. When you stop fearing rejection, you become confident. When you prioritize your own respect over their approval, you become worthy of respect. Do not be the nice guy who finishes last. Be the good man or woman who knows their worth, enforces their boundaries, and refuses to settle for a bad deal. This is the economics of the heart. The currency is self-respect. If you are broke in self-respect, you will never be rich in love. In the final part of this masterclass, we will pull everything together. We will look at the ethics of power. We will answer the ultimate question: can you be powerful, rich, and respected, and still be good? Or does the ascent to the top require a sacrifice of the soul? We will explore the philosophy of the Übermensch, the integration of the shadow, and the final strategy for winning the game of life without losing yourself. Hit the bell. You do not want to miss the end. And tell me in the comments, have you ever been the safety net for someone else? Have you ever paid the price for caring too much? Let it out. Confession is good for the soul. We have arrived at the end of the descent. Earlier on, we exposed how your biology betrays your bank account. In Part 2, we revealed the corporate machine that feeds on your loyalty. In Part 3, we dissected the cold equations of the human heart. By now, you might be feeling something specific. You might be feeling cynical. You might be feeling a cold knot of despair in your stomach. You might be thinking, if the world is truly this dark, if everyone is a predator, if virtue is a weakness one, then why try to be good at all? Why not become the monster? Why not burn it all down? This is the most dangerous moment of the journey. This is the abyss that Nietzsche warned us about. When you look long into the abyss also looks into you. Many people, when they learn the truths of dark psychology, become nihilists. They become bitter, selfish, and destructive. They mistake ruthlessness for strength. They think that because the game is rigged, cheating is the only honor. They are wrong. There is a path that goes through the darkness and comes out the other side. There is a way to be powerful, wealthy, and respected while remaining deeply, unshakably good. But it requires a transformation. It requires the death of the nice person and the birth of something else. It requires the birth of the sovereign. If you are ready to integrate the shadow and become the master of your own fate, hit the like button one last time. Let's finish this. Let's destroy one final definition. What does it mean to be virtuous? Most people think being virtuous means being harmless. They think the rabbit is virtuous because it does not eat the wolf. This is a lie. The rabbit is not virtuous, the rabbit is helpless. The rabbit doesn't eat the wolf because it can't, not because it chooses not to. Virtue is not the absence of dangerousness. Virtue is the control of dangerousness. A man who is weak, who cannot fight, who cannot negotiate, who cannot manipulate, he is not good. He is just harmless. If he were given absolute power, he might become a tyrant. We don't know because he has never been tested. But the man who is dangerous, the man who understands violence but chooses peace, the man who knows how to manipulate but chooses truth, the man who could crush his enemy but chooses mercy, that man is virtuous. You cannot be a good person if you are not capable of being a bad person. You are just a victim in waiting. This is the philosophy of the integrated shadow. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, argued that we all have a shadow, a dark side containing our aggression, our greed, our lust for power. The nice person represses the shadow. They pretend it doesn't exist, and because they repress it, it controls them subconsciously. It comes out as passive aggression, resentment, and anxiety. The sovereign person integrates the shadow. They acknowledge, yes, I have the capacity for evil. Yes, I want power. Yes, I want to win. By accepting these drives, you gain control over them. You harness the energy of the monster to fuel the mission of the angel. So, what does the sovereign look like in the real world? How do you apply this to your bank account and your relationships? You adopt the strategy of the iron hand and the velvet glove. The velvet glove is your outward demeanor. It is your politeness. It is your charm. It is your empathy. You treat the janitor with the same respect as the CEO. You are generous with your praise. You listen more than you speak. You are, by all accounts, a gentleman or a gentlewoman. But underneath the velvet is the iron hand. The iron hand is your boundaries. The iron hand is your willingness to walk away. The iron hand is your capacity for absolute, uncompromising ruthlessness when you are crossed. When you negotiate a contract, you smile. You are friendly. But you do not budge on your bottom line. You are willing to kill the deal with a smile on your face. When a toxic coworker tries to undermine you, you don't complain, you don't cry. You wait, you gather evidence, and then you execute a strategic maneuver that removes them from your path, legally and permanently. The nice person has only the velvet glove. When they are punched, they bruise. The jerk has only the iron hand. Everyone sees them coming and puts up their shields. The master wears both. People feel safe with you because of the velvet, so they lower their guard. But they respect you because they sense the iron underneath. They know that while you are a gardener, you are standing in a garden of swords. We must reframe your relationship with money one last time. The good person often thinks that seeking wealth is greedy. They think, I have enough, I don't need to be rich. This is a cope. This is a slave mentality. In a capitalist society, money is crystallized freedom. Money is the ability to say no. If you are living paycheck to paycheck, you are not free. You cannot leave an abusive boss because you need the health insurance. You cannot leave a toxic marriage because you can't afford the rent. You cannot help your community because you are too busy trying to survive. Your poverty does not make you noble. It makes you vulnerable, and it makes you obedient. Therefore, becoming wealthy is not just a practical goal, it is a moral duty. You have a duty to acquire enough resources so that you cannot be bought, bullied, or bribed. You have a duty to become strong enough to protect the people you love. When you have money, you become a dangerous truth teller. You can speak up in the meeting when the company is doing something unethical because you don't fear being fired. You can refuse the client who treats your staff poorly. You can support the causes you believe in with millions, not just thoughts and prayers. The good person waits for the world to change. The wealthy sovereign changes the world with their resources. Stop apologizing for your ambition. Your ambition is the engine of your liberation. To wrap up this masterclass, I am going to give you the 5 laws of the sovereign. These are the operating principles for the dangerous good. Law 1: Assume nothing, verify everything. Stop projecting your morality onto others. Do not assume someone is telling the truth because you would tell the truth. Do not assume a contract is fair because the other person smiled. Read the fine print. Check the references. Watch their actions. Ignore their words. Trust is earned, never given. Law 2: Be the least reactive person in the room. Whoever controls the emotions controls the outcome. If they can make you angry, they own you. If they can make you afraid, they own you. Train yourself to be a stone. When chaos erupts, you become still. In that stillness, you will find the strategy that the emotional people miss. Law 3: Give value, demand value. Generosity is powerful, but only when it is reciprocal. Give freely to those who give back, but the moment you detect a parasite, someone who takes without giving, cut them off immediately. No warnings, no explanations. Starve the parasites to feed the allies. Law 4: Master the art of silence. The fool babbles to fill the void. The master uses silence to create pressure. When you ask for a raise and they say, "We don't have the budget," do not start bargaining against yourself. Just look at them. Wait. Silence makes people uncomfortable. They will often fill that silence by giving you what you want. Law 5: Never complain, never explain. Complaining signals weakness. It tells the world you are not in control. Explaining signals submission. It tells the world you seek approval. Do what you must do. If you fail, own it. If you succeed, say nothing. Let your results be your only propaganda. We are at the end. The class is dismissed. You now possess a set of lenses that you cannot take off. Tomorrow, when you walk into your office, you will see the strings. You will see the manipulation. You will see the game. You have a choice. You can try to go back to sleep. You can try to be the nice person. Again, you can pretend you didn't hear any of this. But you will always know. You will always feel the itch of the truth that you are being played. Or you can wake up. You can accept that the world is a beautiful, terrible, dangerous place. You can accept that you are a player in a high-stakes game. You can pick up the pieces of your goodness and forge them into a weapon. Don't be a good person. Be a great person. A good person is a spectator. A great person is a protagonist. The world does not need more sheep. It needs more shepherds. And to be a shepherd, you must be able to fight the wolves. Go out there. Build your empire. Protect your tribe. And never, ever let them make you feel guilty for winning. This has been your Forbidden Masterclass. If you are one of the few who made it to the very end, comment, "I am awake" below. I want to see who the real ones are. Subscribe, because we have only just scratched the surface of the human mind. The class is over. The real test begins now.